Kita na ba? Let me know. Kita na ba screen ko?
Yes po, sir.
Sige. So, since taliwas yung schedule nyo sa ibang handle ko ng heat transfer kasi all of my heat transfer classes ay face-to-face this week and kayo ay every odd week yung klase. So, yun. So, no choice but to discuss it online, yung introduction to heat transfer. So, to start off, excuse me, to start off, ano bang heat transfer? So, heat transfer by definition, it's a very basic definition. This is an exchange of thermal energy due to a difference in temperature. Due to a difference in temperature. So yan yung pinaka-basic na definition ng heat transfer. This is the exchange of thermal energy due to a difference in temperature. So ibig sabihin, yung thermal energy natin ay nangyayari when the surfaces or yung ating mga materials ay merong difference in temperature. For example, wall. Yung inner surface ng wall at yung outer surface ng wall. Siyempre, for example, a wall ng classroom. Let's say yung classroom natin is air-conditioned. Siyempre, yung nasa loob, yung inner surface nun, kung nasan yung aircon, mas mababa yung temperature nun. Then, yung surface ng wall na naka-expose sa araw or sa init, mas mataas yung temperature noon. So since there is a difference in temperature between those two surfaces, nagkakameron tayo ng heat transfer doon. Kaya ang nangyayari, yung for example, 20 degrees Celsius yung nasa loob, yung inner surface ng wall na nasa air condition. Then ang nasa labas ay 40 degrees Celsius. So ang nangyayari doon, nakakapasok yung heat paloob ng classroom natin. So that's heat transfer. And yung flow ng heat natin or yung flow ng flow, ang pag-transfer ng heat is always from higher temperature going to the lower temperature. Doon ganun siya nagta-travel from high temperature to low temperature. So you have to remember that. And then for you to better appreciate heat transfer, let's talk about the first law of thermodynamics. Dapat you have already mastered this. So, based sa first law of thermodynamics, diba, sa first law of thermodynamics, sa first law of thermodynamics, diba, pinaka statement niya is that energy cannot be created nor destroyed, but it can be transformed into other uses of energy. So from that, it means energy in is equal to energy out then, 'di ba? And the working formula for first law of thermodynamics, I hope you know this, is Q equals delta U plus W. Wherein yung Q natin, this is our heat transfer, may it be a heat loss or heat gain, 'di ba? Then U is our internal energy and W is our work. Yeah. I hope you are familiar with this. So, yan yung ating governing equation regarding first law of thermodynamics. And yung internal energy natin, kung mapapansin nyo, di ba, sa inyong thermodynamics, kung mapapansin nyo, kung maaalala nyo, we can obtain internal energy kapag may given tayong pressure and volume, or sorry, pressure and temperature. And kapag known, yung system natin, alam natin yung pressure and temperature, we can get the value for internal energy through our steam tables. Sa steam tables natin makukuha yung value ng internal energy. Then for work, yung work, makukuha natin siya, yung work net na yan, because it can either be, itong work, this can either be depende sa process. Siyempre, we do solve work depending on the process. May it be, bakit nagaganon? Constant pressure, di ba? Pag constant pressure process tayo, masosolve natin yung work. Minsan, nasosolve din natin ang work through, pag sinabing polytropic, yung work, iba't ibang processes yan. We do have as well spring work. We can solve for work due to spring work. We also have generator or turbine output or generator work. And kung mapapansin nyo, yan, sa generator work, kung mapapansin nyo, yung mga yan ay, ah, yan ay, sorry, yung work na yan ay makukuha natin lahat or there are different equations na pwede natin gamitin para ma-solve yan. Like for example, sa polytropic process, may certain formula for work. Sa spring work, may certain formula for spring work. Sa generator work, may specific formula for uh, generator work. Kapag constant pressure process, may formula na gagamitin tayo for work. Yun yung tinuro sa atin sa thermodynamics. And kung mapapansin nyo, during your thermodynamics course, ay, during your thermodynamics course, walang sinabi kung paano mo isosolve ang heat transfer. Hindi natin alam kung paano isosolve ang heat transfer. Kasi hindi siya tinuro. Malimit lang sasabihin sa ano, sasabihin sa thermodynamics nyo ay the heat loss on the system is ganyan or the heat gain in the system is ganyan. Ibibigay sa inyo yung values nila, bibigyan kayo ng values niyan. Yun na siya. Then ang hinahanap minsan ay work, hinahanap ay itong internal energy, depende. Pero kung mapapansin nyo, laging given itong heat loss and heat gain. Depende sa system. Lagi siyang ginigiven. Pagdating sa thermodynamics, sa discussion ng thermodynamics. And that is the gap sa discussion ng thermodynamics. That is since masyadong broad or masyadong malawak ang ating ang heat transfer, mahirap siyang i-analyze. That is the reason why we have this course or we have this course nga na heat transfer. Dito natin i-analyze paano ba kino-compute, paano ba kina-calculate ang heat transfer. So, dito malalaman natin kung ah ano talaga, anong purpose ng heat transfer na yon. So, yun yung need natin, yun yung ating pinaka-goal sa course na to. We have to solve for the heat transfer. Hindi na siya yung magiging unknown. Kailangan natin siyang ma-quantify. Mabigyan natin ng justice and mabigyan nga natin ng value based on our analysis. So, yun yung gagawin natin. And to tell you nga, mahirap ang heat transfer kasi iba't ibang assumptions and iba't ibang theories yung need nating i-apply to solve this. And with that, we do have three modes of heat transfer. We have the three modes of heat transfer. Three modes of heat transfer. And three modes of heat transfer. And the first one that we are going to be tackling is conduction. Conduction. So, ano ba ang conduction? So, ang conduction po, by definition, this is the transfer of energy, transfer of energy, or the transfer of thermal energy, since we're talking about heat, transfer of from more energetic to less energetic, less energetic due to their interaction. Due to their interaction. Yan, so by definition, ang conduction natin, conduction is the transfer of thermal energy from more energetic to less energetic due to their interaction. Anong example nito? Let's an example ng conduction, let's say, meron tayong plate dito. Let's say, meron tayong plate. Ito, plate to. Then, uh, yung plate na yan, meron tayo ditong apoy or meron tayo ditong Bunsen burner or hinihit natin itong surface na to ng plate. Itong part na to ng plate, hinihit natin yan. Hinihit natin yan. So, ibig sabihin, when that part of plate becomes heated or pag ininit natin yan, yung molecules on this surface, yung molecules dito will start, yung molecules natin dyan molecules will start to vibrate dyan dyan sa part na hinihit natin. Magva-vibrate yan. And ibig sabihin, it will become more excited, more energized yung ating mga molecules dyan. And from there, yung mga molecules dyan na nagkikerry ng thermal energy, ita-transfer niya uh, yung heat yung heat doon papunta sa kanyang neighboring molecules. So, ang mangyayari diyan, madi-diffuse 'yan or kakalat 'yan. So, kung one-dimensional lang 'yan, kuwari, papunta siya lahat pataas, pataas lang, isang linya lang, isang direction lang, pataas. So, kung i-hit natin tong part na to, since ito ay more energetic na since exposed siya sa heat, mata-transfer yung heat papunta dito sa less energetic, mapupunta dito or yung part na to ng surface in due time in due time magiging mainit din tong surface na to. So nagta-transfer yung heat na yon. And that mode of heat transfer is what we call conduction. Yan, conduction po ang tawag doon. And conduction is governed by the Fourier's law. It is governed by the Fourier's law. Oops. This is Fourier, Fourier's law, which is Q double prime equals negative K, the change in temperature with respect to the direction. And this formula is for one dimensional. Ibig sabihin, yung ating transfer ng heat occurs only on the x direction. Ibig sabihin, papunta lang siya or yung transfer ng heat natin is on x direction lang. So, anong ibig sabihin yan? Let's say ganito. Let's say meron tayong wall. Drawing tayo ng wall dito. Yan. Drawing tayo ng, yan, yung wall. Then, let's say, ito, itong surface ng wall na to is temperature 1. Then, itong bandito is temperature 2. Then, linear yung process natin since one-dimensional sa linear, tuwid to tuwid, linear, linear. Yan. So, kung mapapansin nyo, yan yung heat transfer natin. From higher temperature dito sa T1 going to the lower temperature. And from this point, dito sa itong wall natin, yung wall natin na yan, kung ang transfer natin is in x direction, so let's say ito yung point zero. So, x direction, papunta dito, this is your length or yung kapal ng wall. Yan yung kapal ng wall. Ganyan. So, ganyan yung travel natin ng heat. So, from this diagram, we can simplify itong formula natin for Fourier's law. So, you have to remember, sige, tama yan. So, Q double prime, Q double prime equals negative K. Kung mapapansin nyo, ano yung DT? Change in temperature. So from this diagram, ang change in temperature natin is T2 minus T1. Diba? So that's T2 minus T1. Then change in the length or change in x length ng x direction. So muna siya sa L minus 0 kasi change nga eh. So kung paano nagbago. So yan yon. Then kung mapapansin nyo, di ba, itong T2 minus T1, ang magiging value nito is negative kasi mas mataas yung T1, 'di ba? Mas mataas yung T1. So, pwedeng ang gawin natin, ilabas natin yung negative or i-multiply natin lahat ng terms na nasa taas ng negative. So, ang mangyayari diyan, magiging positive si K, T1 minus T2 over L. So, yan. Then, alam natin na itong T1 minus T2 is the change in temperature. So that's Q double prime is K delta T over L. Wherein ito yung formula natin for conduction. And you have to take note that, oops, you have to take note that ang Q double prime, oh no, hindi na siya nasulat. Ay, nasulat. Saglit lang guys. Close muna natin. Yan. You do have to take note that ang Q double prime natin is our heat flux. We call that as heat flux. Ang heat flux po, since we are in SI units, SI yung units natin, this is in terms of watt per square meter. So tandaan nyo, pag heat flux, naka per unit area yan. Ang area natin is square meter. Heat flux ang tawag dyan. So ibig sabihin, ang sinolve natin dito, this is your formula for heat flux. Paano naman pag ang gusto ko ay watts lang, Q, Q lang. So Q, pag Q lang, this is our heat rate. Heat rate, this is in terms of watts. So kapag kailangan natin ay watts lang, since alam natin na ang Q double prime ay heat flux at ang gusto natin ay heat rate, paano mawawala yung square meter sa baba? Magmumultiply tayo ng area. So ibig sabihin, ang formula for Q is Q equals K times the area perpendicular delta T over L. So ito ang formula naman pag heat rate. Yan, Ka delta T over L. Wherein yung ano niyan, yung area is yung perpendicular area. Let's say i-drawing natin ganito. Uh, ito yung wall. Yan, so since x direction siya, so yung heat transfer natin papunta dito, 'di ba? So yung area niyan ay itong part na to. Itong part na to, wait lang, tama. Yun yung part na yan. Oops. Yan, itong part na to, yan yung area na need natin i-consider. So this is your height, then this is your length. Or let's say that this is your base. Then yung L natin dito, this is your thickness. Ito yan. Ito yung thickness ng wall kasi dyan dumaan yung heat transfer natin. So yan. That is the analysis for heat rate. Then From this formula, so alam na natin, ito heat flux, ito ay heat rate. So, ano yung K? Ang K natin is thermal thermal ayun na tuminta conductivity. Yan. Thermal conductivity. Saglit lang. Ayun ang sumulat. That is thermal conductivity. Yan. K. And ang unit ng K natin is watt per meter Kelvin. Watt per meter Kelvin ang unit natin. So ano po itong thermal conductivity? This is the property of material kung nagsasabi or ito yung property ng material na nagsasabi nga kung gaano ka-conductive yung material na yon, kung gaano siya kayang mag-transfer ng thermal energy from yun, kung paano siya mag-transfer ng thermal energy, that is thermal conductivity. And yung values nito, yung values ng thermal conductivity can be found on our reference book and nandun din siya sa ating manual na most likely i-release daw bukas. So, nandun siya. Hahanapin nyo siya yung value ng nung ating hanapin nyo yung value ng ating thermal conductivity doon. May tables na provided, may table na provided, doon nyo kukuhanin yung value ng thermal conductivity. So, yan. So, that is for conduction. Yan yung concept ng conduction. Then, yun, I think that's it for conduction. Then, the next one, make sure you take note of this. Next natin ay convection. So, in convection. Yan, convection. So, dito, sa convection naman, kung naaalala nyo, yung kung mapapansin nyo pala, dito, sa conduction natin is from solid surface yan. Doon siya nagta-travel sa solids, di ba? Dito naman sa convection, para mag-occur, for convection to occur, or in order to have, bakit nagluloko siya? In order to have convection, in order to have convection, there should be there should be fluid. In order to have convection, there should be fluid flowing over the surface. Oops. Sorry guys, nagloloko yung pen. Hindi ko alam kung bakit. There should be fluid flowing over the surface. Stressing. Yan. So, basta convection, in order to have convection, there should be fluid flowing over the surface. So, ano ibig sabihin yan? Ah, wala na naman itong tinta. Ay, meron pa. Anong ibig sabihin po nito? Ibig sabihin po, for example, akong ah meron akong kape. For example, oops. For example, meron akong kape. Yan. Yung kape ko, syempre, mainit yan. Mainit. So, alin yung saan part dito ng saan part ang convection dito? Saan ah, part ng heat transfer o convection heat transfer nag-o-occur dito sa kape natin. Dito sa taas kasi there is a fluid na nagfa-flow over the surface. And yung fluid na yon is air. Yung air natin, 'di ba? We consider air as fluid. So dumadaan diyan yung air sa taas. So lumalamig, bumababa yung temperature ng ating kape. Since kasi may fluid tayo or may air na nagra-run over, nagfa-flow over sa surface dito, like ito yung kape. So may fluid dito, yung air nga na nagpapababa ng temperature niya. So lumalamig yung kape natin. So yun, that is one example of convection. So, ang convection, kung kanina ang conduction is for Fourier's law, ang convection naman, we are uh, dealing with the oops, Newton's law of cooling. Newton's law of cooling. Again, ang convection is uh, governed by Newton's law of cooling. So, kung i-analyze natin siya, kung maaalala nyo, kung nag-fluid mechanics kayo, sa fluid mechanics, since we're talking about fluid flowing over the surface, so let's say, ito yung surface natin. Wait, pawiin na natin ito. Let's say, ito, surface natin to. Surface natin yan. So, may nagpa-flow na fluid dito sa surface. And to analyze yung ating uh, fluid flowing dyan, from fluid mechanics, since nagpa-flow siya, meron niyang velocity. So, i-analyze natin siya doon sa boundary layer sa surface. Uh, Nagkakameron dyan ng boundary layer and doon natin makikita yung velocity gradient and temperature gradient ng fluid natin and sa surface. So, when we talk about velocity gradient from fluid mechanics, so, syempre, nagpa-flow nga dyan sa surface yung fluid natin. So, from this point, let's say this is your velocity at surface. Bakit ganun? Nakakainis. Nakakainis. Hassle, sorry. Bakit ganito? Yan. Ito yung velocity natin sa surface. Itong point na to. So, let's use that as velocity is US. Sa paglayo niya sa surface, so sa boundary layer natin, sa paglayo na sa surface, pagtaas ng velocity ng fluid. Tataas yung bakit ganito? Nakakainis. Tataas yung velocity ng fluid natin. So, from here, from zero yung velocity sa surface, paglayo niya sa pagkapal ng fluid natin, pagtaas ng velocity ng fluid. Yan. Tataas yung velocity ng fluid. This is U infinity. Ah, ayaw niyang gumana. U infinity. So, tataas yung velocity natin. And dito, when we talk about fluid mechanics, nag-evaluate tayo dyan ng Reynolds number, di ba? Reynolds number. So, I hope na-discuss sa inyo to, but we're not dealing more about this. So, pagdating sa heat transfer, naman, kung ito yung surface, say, nandito yung zero to, so ito yung temperature ng surface, yung point na yan, zero. Sa paglayo, ito yung zero, di ba? Ito yung temperature ng surface, ito. Yan, itong may arrow na yan. Since ang surface natin is a hot surface, di ba? Then may dadaan na fluid sa taas, pababa yung temperature niyan, papunta sa fluid temperature. So ito, temperature ng fluid. So makapapansin nyo, lumiliit sa paglayo or sa pagkapal ng ating fluid, the higher the thickness of our fluid, lumiliit or bumababa yung temperature ng ating surface or ganun yung nangyayari until such time na na-reach na yung uh, fluid temperature din. So dito, ginagamit naman natin dito is yung ating Prandtl number. Prandtl number. Prandtl's number. And we're gonna be discussing this on the next coming lessons, yung Prandtl's number. So, yan. Yan yung concept ng convection. Again, in order to have convection, there should be fluid flowing over the surface. Kailangan may fluid na dumadaan sa surface. So, ano ang formula ng convection based sa Newton's law of cooling? So, based from the Newton's law of cooling, ang formula natin ng heat transfer is Q equals H A temperature ng surface minus temperature ng ating fluid. So, yan. This is heat rate kasi hindi siya naka-double prime Q. Heat rate Q is equal to HA Ts minus T infinity. So, isa-isahin natin. A, still, this is your area. This is your area. Then, Ts is your surface temperature. Surface temperature. Then, ito is fluid temperature. Then, ito ay heat rate, yung Q. Then, yung H natin, itong H is what we call the convection coefficient. Yan, convection coefficient. Kung kanina, kung mapatandaan nyo, so sa conduction, meron tayong K, which is thermal conductivity. That is the property of the material. Yung K, thermal conductivity, again, property yun ng material. Makukuha natin yun sa mga tables, depende sa material. Itong H, itong convection coefficient, most of the times ay ating sinosolve. Kinakalculate natin yan when pagdating natin ng in-depth discussion ng convection, sinosolve natin ang convection coefficient kasi complex yung convection coefficient. This depends on na tayong need i-consider dito. I-consider dito. Kasi bago natin makuha yan, kailangan natin malaman yung property ng fluid. Kailangan natin malaman fluid property. Need din natin malaman yung geometry ng fluid. Then, kailangan din natin malaman kung yung flow regime niya, kung siya ba ay laminar, or tubular flow regime. Yan. So, need natin lahat yan i-consider. And we do have different formulas para ma-solve yan. So, yan yung kalimitang nawawala or hinahanap sa pagsusolve ng convection. Yung convection heat transfer coefficient. Kasi nga, again, siya ay nagbabago. Lagi siya nagbabago. Depende sa fluid. Nakadepende yan sa fluid. And hindi naman same lagi ang properties ng fluid. Kasi nga, yan nga, nababago yung property, nababago yung geometry, nababago yung flow regime. So, yan, that is, yan yung formula natin for convection. Q equals HA Ts minus T infinity. Then, kung gusto mo naman i-heat flux, then it's just the same. Oops. So, kung need nyo ay heat flux, since ang heat flux ay double prime, dito from this, alam natin na ang heat flux ay naka-watt per square meter and itong area natin ay naka-square meter. So, i-divide lang natin yan. I-divide natin both sides by area. So, magiging heat flux na yung kabila kasi magiging Q over A. Ang Q over A ay Q double prime kasi area yun, watt per square meter. So, ito, ang Q double prime is H TS minus, oops, TS minus T infinity. Yan. So, ito ang formula ng heat flux pag convection. So, yan. Yan yung formula natin for convection. So, again, we have already discussed yung conduction. Then we also discussed yung convection. Then the last property, last mode of heat transfer na you need to know is radiation heat transfer. So, radiation heat transfer. Nakakainis. And so, that's radiation heat transfer. So, anong pinakaiba ng radiation heat transfer sa kanilang dalawa? Ang radiation heat transfer, it can occur in a vacuum. Nakakainis. Sorry guys. Ganito. It can occur in a vacuum. Yan. Para natin nasabing it can occur in a vacuum and these are oftenly used in space application. Oh, yun na naman. Or again, this can be used in space application. Bakit ganito? Space applications. Yan. It can occur in a vacuum and uh, ginagamit siya sa space applications. Bakit? Kasi hindi malimit kasi ang space natin ay malimit siya or ang space natin can be considered a vacuum din. So, 'di ba ang conduction kailangan nag-o-occur siya between molecules. Yung more energetic to less energetic on a solid surface. Doon pag solid surface at merong molecular activities, conduction heat transfer yun, solid to solid yun. And kapag naman convection, surface, then may fluid na dumadaan. Sa radiation, hindi kailangan nun. Hindi kailangan may fluid, hindi kailangan na may molecular interaction, hindi kailangan nun. Nag-o-occur siya as it is in a vacuum. Ibig sabihin kasi, when we talk about radiation, nag-e-emit siya, nag-i-emit siya ng energy from its surface. So, uh, yung energy na yon, yung radiation heat transfer, ay yung energy na yon ay saglit lang guys, nawawala ako. Yung energy na yon ay sinusukat as it leaves the surface. So, ang radiation heat transfer is used to measure how much. Bakit ganito? Nakakalungkot naman. Sorry guys, talaga hindi siya nakikisama sa inyo ngayon. Ah, nakakainis. Sorry. Ayaw niyang gumana, nakakabisit. Ah, how much energy leaves the surface? So, yan. Yung radiation, again, it can occur in a vacuum and commonly used in space application. And this is used to measure how much energy leaves the surface. Kasi nga, yung surface natin, yung mga surfaces natin is uh, nag-radiate, nag-emit yan ng energy. So, we measure that uh, through radiation heat transfer. And radiation heat transfer can be quantified using the Stefan Stefan Boltzmann law. And the Stefan Boltzmann law. And this law is states that how much of an energy nga leaves the surface of an object. So, ang formula niyan is emissive power EB is equal to, bakit ganoon? EB is equal to the Stefan Boltzmann constant sigma times the temperature surface to the fourth. Yeah. So again, EB for the emissive power is equal to the surface temperature to the fourth times the Stefan Boltzmann constant. And this Stefan Boltzmann constant is equal to watt per square. Ay, sorry. This is equal to 5.67. This is 5.67 times 10 to the negative 8 watt per square annoying. So yan, 5.67 times 10 to the negative 8 watt per square meter Kelvin. So yan. Then Ts is your surface temperature to the fourth. So this is your maximum emissive power. Then itong formula na to or this emissive power is in terms of watt per square meter. Ang sagot dyan, watt per square meter. Sa unit analysis kasi, di ba, ito to the fourth yan. Ito, K to the fourth pala to. K to the fourth. Yeah. So, yeah. Yan yung formula natin for maximum emissive power. Ito, kino-consider dito that the surface or the object is a black body. Black body siya. So, kapag black body, uh, siya ay perfect emitter. Tawag sa kanya perfect emitter ang a black body. Pero pag hindi black body and most of the time, non-ideal yon, hindi black body yung ating uh, material or sub object kasi wala namang black body talaga. So, if you're gonna be evaluating radiation, that is equal to the emissive power E sub B is equal to the emissivity factor times the sigma or the Stefan Boltzmann constant times T S to the fourth. Yan. So, yan yung formula natin for non-black body materials. Wherein uh, E is your emissivity. Bakit ganun? Eh, emissi... Bakit tayo nang gumana nakakainis, guys? Yung E natin is our emissivity factor. So, yung value ng E natin ranges from 0 to 1. Kapag 1 yung value ng emissivity factor, ibig sabihin, black body siya. Pero, pag siya ay between 0 to 1, ibig sabihin, non-black body siya. Kaya, yung maximum emissive power natin ay walang emissivity factor dito sa taas kasi we assume kanina nga na black body siya. Pero again, pag hindi black body, then we use or we multiply it with the emissivity factor. So, yan. And then, yan lang yung need natin for radiation. Meron pa palang isa. When the condition is, i-evaluate natin ang radiation heat transfer, radiation heat transfer between, ang hirap, nakakainis, between small object, small object, and a wall of large enclosure. So yan, meron pa isang condition wherein we need to calculate the radiation heat transfer between small object and the wall of large enclosure. So, anong itsura niyan? For example, meron tayong object dito. Then, may large enclosure tayo. Ito yung wall ng large enclosure. So, since itong ating object sa loob, may surface temperature yan. Ito, part na to, may surface temperature yan. So, this is Ts. Then, syempre, yung surrounding niya, yung enclosure niya, itong part na to, meron ditong temperature. Let's say, T surrounding, kasi siya yung nasa labas. So, itong ating object sa loob, nag-e-emit yan ng radiation. Di ba? Nag-e-emit yan ng radiation. Then, itong ating surrounding, itong enclosure na to, since naka-enclose yung ating object dyan, itong enclosure na to, nag-i-emit din yan ng radiation. So, makakalculate natin yung radiation heat transfer nila sa differences nilang dalawa by having EB, E, yung emissive power natin is equal to the emissivity factor. Itong emissivity factor na gagamitin dito is the emissivity factor ng ating object na nasa loob. Emissivity factor ng object times the Stefan Boltzmann coefficient or Stefan Boltzmann constant, yung 5.67 times 10 to the negative 8 times T, the temperature of ng object to the fourth minus temperature ng wall ng enclosure to the fourth. And you have to remember that kapag radiation, we have to use absolute temperature. We have to use absolute temperature. Ibig sabihin, in terms of Kelvin, ang mga value niyan. Kailangan in terms of Kelvin. Value nito at value nito. So, yan. Yan yung formula natin pag uh, radiation heat transfer between small object and the wall of a large enclosure. So, yan. Yan yung mga formulas na need natin na lagi nyo makakasalubong all throughout the course. Again, for conduction, we use heat rate is equal to Ka delta T over L. For convection, we have heat rate is equal to HA Ts minus T fluid. Then for radiation, we have emissivity factor times sigma van Boltzmann constant times Ts to the fourth. Then kapag radiation between small object and a wall of large enclosure, we have emissivity factor times Stefan Boltzmann constant times Ts to the fourth minus T surrounding to the fourth. And all of this dapat sa radiation naka in terms of Kelvin. Dito sa conduction at saka convection, hindi siya need na naka-Kelvin kasi we're talking about temperature difference lang. Kung mapapansin nyo, ito, Kelvin, Celsius man yan or Kelvin, pareho lang ang lalabas sa temperature difference. Kasi 'di ba, constant naman yung 273 na ina-add. So for example, 'di ba, kuwari temperature natin is 20 degrees Celsius, tapos yung isa 15 degrees Celsius. So ang temperature difference nila is 5. 20 minus 15 ay 5 degrees Celsius. 5 degrees Celsius yung temperature difference nila. Same lang yan kung gagawin mong Kelvin. Kasi yung 20, paplasan mo ng 273, yung 15, paplasan mo rin ng 273. Pag pinag-minus mo sila, 5 pa rin. 5 Kelvin pa rin. Walang pinagbago sa 5 Kelvin at sa 5 degrees Celsius. Yun yung temperature difference sila pag pinag-minus. Pareho lang ng value. Kaya hindi nagma-matter sa unit analysis dito sa conduction at convection yung temperature na unit. Pero pagdating na radiation, since siya ay naka to the fourth na, mag-iiba na yung value niyan. Kasi for example, yun nga, 20 at 15. 20 plus 273 to the fourth, tapos yung isa, 15 plus 273 to the fourth, mag-iiba yung temperature difference nila. Kaya, need naka-Kelvin dito sa radiation heat transfer. So, yun. Yun lang, yun yung overview natin regarding dito, regarding heat transfer. So, yun. I think that's it for today. 2 minutes na lang. May tanong ba kayo? Nagets nyo ba siya? Oops.